So beautiful segue. Thanks for that, Mike. Animal Crossing. So there was a news update. So the winter update, but it's summer update for us. And buried at the back end of the winter update was the announcement that they've finally given the ability for people to transfer their whole island to a new Switch, or
Nice.
transfer just a resident from the island to another Switch.
Okay.
So, your situation, you could literally move off your island, or your girlfriend can move off your island and, have her own Switch and her own island.
It'll most likely be me that gets kicked out, but yes.
Well,
That
I
sounds
don't
good.
know if that's true, because I think it's the island resident, like the head resident or whatever. I don't think they can leave.
I think I'm the head resident.
Yeah, there
That's
you go.
okay.
There you go. And there's all there's all these rules. It's a bit finicky. It's quite crazy, actually. You have to install an app. It's got like an actual app that you have to install on the Switch.
Why the
is
hell?
that? Yeah.
Why
Why
the
do they
hell?
make so many
What?
hoops you got to jump through for something as basic as that? I don't get it.
Why
I
not
think
just
it's a-
add
It's like
something to the
they
game?
trickle in quality of life improvements just so they have something for people to, I don't know, look forward to every release or something. Why can't they just make all those things the base game? I don't get it.
Look, Nintendo's not good at that kind of software engineering stuff. So
It's horrible. It's
I
really
think-
just annoying.
I think what it is, this is my theory on how they've done it, right? Because when you're in the game, you're editing the code and then you're also accessing the save file. So I think they're looking at it and going, let's install an app so then the other app isn't live. They can edit the save data. I bet that's what it's doing. It's editing the save data and then like verifying. Because one thing about Nintendo, they are obsessed about you not being able to duplicate or like try to generate new items or anything like that. So it's very specific. It's like you have to be online. You have to have both switches on. They both have to be up to date, both on the same firmware, not booted into the actual games, and then boot into that app that does the transfer. So I bet it does this thing where it's like, it will like remove it from one switch, have it on the other. So you never get a scenario where you can actually duplicate it, but you may be able to risk having losing your resident altogether or your island altogether.
But I mean, why do they inconvenience so many people that would not want to sit there duplicating or cheating or breaking the system anyway? In a game which, by the way, isn't even really a multiplayer game.
Correct.
So what are you going to do? Like duplicate items and then do what with it? It's not a competitive game. It's you'll
know, but they're
share
obsessed
something
about
with
this.
someone.
They've done
It's
like,
such a stupid obsession. It doesn't even make any sense when you think about it.
So there was a trick that you could do to duplicate any item, and they patched it out so quickly. Like they literally
Of
released
course.
just this little, 0.0.01 type patch just to get rid of it.
That reminds
But you can still time travel and stuff to cheat and do
no,
other things.
they changed that as well. So you can't.
They have.
You can time travel backwards, but it's very hard to stop anyone doing that. But you can't time travel forwards. If you time travel forwards, it does nothing now.
Ah, okay.
Because before it would trigger the events, but it doesn't do that now.
This whole thing reminds me of. Did you guys ever trade Pokemon back in the original Game Boy days?
Yes. You mean like on the game?
The game, yes. So
Yeah.
with the transfer cable between two Game Boys, and
Yep.
how there was this trick where you could like disconnect at a certain time, and it would keep a copy of the Pokemon in each on each version of the game.
I do remember that, yes.
And
yeah.
so I had a friend of mine that's like, I really want this. I had like a level 100 Articuno, right? Which
Yeah.
all my Pokemon named after wrestlers. I can't remember what his name was, but it's probably Stone Cold or something.
Stone Cold
Because it was an
Articuno,
ice
yeah.
Pokemon. But and he's like, okay, let's do this. And then he disconnected, and none of us got it.
So he was lost. It was
Lost.
gone into
So it
the
was
ether.
lost in the
Gone.
ether.
Lost him.
Wow.
I could just
Oh,
You ever
imagine
wondered
Shigeru
what happened
Miyamoto
to that
laughing in the
Pokemon?
background.
Just
I was so shattered. Like as a kid, like it took ages to get a Pokemon to level 100 back in the original one, and I'm like, oh my
Oh, yeah.
god,
do you still talk to this guy? I assume not.
no, why? What am I going to be like? Can you go into the ether and get my old level 100 Pokemon?
No, but I can imagine how this would just completely destroy a friendship.
I wasn't happy, but I mean, it wasn't really. I wouldn't say it's his fault. Like we were trying to do something super dodgy. It was on me for agreeing to it.
Wow.
You could use the save editor these days and generate it. There you go. You can ring him up and move it on. So the other thing, and I should say, my wife, who is obsessed about Animal Crossing,
She still plays it. Wow.
dude, she plays it all the time. It's like 500 hours or something like that.
Holy moly.
She so for a Christmas present, I'm getting her like pretty much all of the amiibo cards, and they
That's what
just
that photo
came in.
was. I was
Yeah,
wondering
yeah.
what that was.
We did a whole
Okay.
segment on it, Mike. You gotta
Yeah.
listen to
So
the whole segment.
so I sent, so this is behind the scenes stuff, but I sent you guys a photo, and guess how much as a percentage of the cards that is that I sent through. Like is that like 20% of the
10.
cards that we got?
10%. 10%.
10%.
I'd say it's like about 3 or 4%.
What? Can I ask how much that all costs?
Oh, it's
Give
more
it
than a
roughly.
PlayStation 5.
Okay, so about $1,000. Fair
It's a
enough.
lot. It's crazy. It's insane.
What's these are all for her, and she intends to use them, right? It's not.
She loves them,
collector's
dude,
thing or
man. So
something?
she only opened up a few packs,
Yeah.
and she's got like these penny slips, so like protective slips on them. And she
Wow.
just like she looks at them all the time. She just like opens it up, looks
It's
at it.
amazing. Dude, your
She loves
children
it.
just get ignored now. They're sitting there starving,
Mike-
crying out.
Mike,
No,
I,
okay. Can I just
hunger.
say? So she actually, with our son, our eldest son is 3. She's like, oh, I don't want to open it in front of him because I don't want him to touch it.
Oh my god.
hey, Mike, I even
Don't do
suggested
this, parents.
that because apparently, Intergot, you were saying that she doesn't plan, or the whole point of this was collecting as opposed to using him to scan into the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I said, well, can't you just like figure out some way to like get the PDFs and contact a printer to print them out, and like and he said that they'd like they'd get divorced over that if she found out he'd counterfeited.
Jeez.
Amiibo
Oh wait,
cards.
can't you load them into the game and then you still have the physical card, right? So what's the?
Oh, she's just not interested. Like, I think she might use some of them to load in because you can scan the cards and get that resident, that animal resident to come
Yeah.
to your island. But, she still said the other day, she's like, I can't believe Swinny suggested to counterfeit this. That's just ridiculous. Like, what a crazy suggestion. Like, she was so angry about it.
Did you guys
So-
on that topic? I was watching this video about the Pokemon cards and how there's a huge industry about opening
Oh,
the
yeah,
cards.
it's massive
and
now. It's resurgence, yeah.
Did you see the one? I forget the guys who ordered a pack. It was a video talking about how there's some shady things happening in the whole community. And there was a group of guys who run a big YouTube channel, and they ordered a pack. And I don't quote me on this, but it was like $200,000 or something they paid for
Are
it
you
at
talking about
auction.
Logan Paul? Are we talking about
No,
Logan
No,
Paul?
this was
it's-
post that.
I think
they
this
went.
this is critical. I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
something
yeah,
like that.
Moist
It was
Critical,
it was
yeah,
the
yeah.
same guy who I think gave the packs to Logan Paul. The same dude who they used to get their hands on this pack. And anyway, when they went to open it, it was fake.
Oh,
It had already been opened,
no, that's not-
resealed,
that's not
all this
critical, that's
dodginess.
fine.
It was completely dodgy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's becoming common. I think with Animal Crossing, there was a point where people were counterfeiting them because, per card was like $100, but
That's
right now,
nuts.
like, it's gone back to normal. But the one that I'm more familiar with is with and now this sounds really nerdy, but with NBA cards,
Okay.
the
I've got a few of
86
those.
season,
Tell me
which is
more.
when Jordan started. So like his rookie season
okay.
card is worth
Yeah.
like heaps of money, like tens of thousands of dollars, like even a decent version of it.
Really? Wow. I need to dig up my old cards. I've got a whole bunch that I bought.
Well, the trick with it
Let's
is
go.
though, with these cards when they came out, right? They actually had a specific order. So as soon as you open the pack and you see the first player, right? They're supposed to be randomized, but they're kind of not, right? It's like as soon as you see that first player, there's a set order of who's next. So
Well,
basically,
people can just fake that as well, though, right?
well, no, but some of them are too stupid. So what people were doing was they were making these fake ones, and people were opening it up and going, "Wait a second, this is not like the right order. Like this is an order that doesn't exist for these cards." And because people are opening it on YouTube channels and stuff like that, like recording it for it, they're like got it on tape. They're like, "Well, wait a second, you sent me this pack. This literally cannot be the ordering of the pack." And it's like the pack is like. It's I love this kind of stuff because it's so crazy. What people are doing is like they're heating up the pack or something to loosen the glue or something, or like removing the foil some way without actually damaging it.
Yeah,
And
they
then
do that
taking out
with
the
Hot
good
Wheels and stuff
cards.
like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just heat
It's
it
so
up and then they
crazy.
take off the top and
It's so bad,
amazing,
man.
isn't
It's
it?
so bad.
Super bad.
And we should point out as well with the Animal Crossing update. So they're also upgrading your home storage. So if you've paid off your house, you can upgrade it to 2400 slots. And there's new reactions, hairstyles, and then there's new events coming up. So there's Turkey Day, which is Thanksgiving. There's Toy Day, which is the day before Christmas. And then there's New Year's Eve events, which I find hilarious that they refuse to use the actual names for these things. Like they'll call it something else. It's so weird, don't you reckon?
And it's like me, like I prefer, I'm not religious in any way, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to use Xmas, and I'm like, I'm going to use Xmas all the time until I realize that Xmas just means like Christmas, same thing. It's just X literally means Christ. I'm like, God damn it, damn it.
Nice. And sticking in Nintendo space,